And today, we got a wonderful story coming up. Another wonderful story. We went through the beginning. We went through Abraham with Isaac, Jacob, Joseph. And now the next wonderful story is coming up. Okay. The word, this is going to be coming from the book of Exodus. And Exodus means to exit. Okay. Now, in order to start off things off here, I'm going to read to you Exodus chapter 1. Basically, is a kind of going over the reiterating the children of Israel, and what it's doing is going to be giving names and things that'll lead to the next story. Okay. Exodus chapter 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man in his household, they came with Jacob. If you remember Joseph telling his brothers to go get dad and bring dad back, you know what I mean, in here in Egypt. And they got there and they lived in Goshen. Okay. Reuben and Simeon and Levi and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. These are your 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. And all of the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was already in Egypt. Okay. Now, that's key to remember. 70 people. Okay. All right, went into Egypt when Joseph told them to go get dad and bring dad down in here, and when Joseph told the brothers to go get dad Jacob and bring him down here, and they're going to live into Goshen. And there were 70 people when they got there. Joseph died, and all of his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Okay, this is them now in Egypt. Now there arose a new king, or Pharaoh, in Egypt, which did not know Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more mightier than we are. Now remember, I kind of explained this at the end of Joseph's story. I kind of let you know what was about to happen, what was going to happen next after that. Well, this is the words of it right here. Come, and this is them having their council, the Pharaoh and his men having a council meeting, because the Israelites were like getting very abundantly, flourishing and growing there, even to the point where they were becoming more than the Egyptians. All right. At this council meeting, come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. So get them up out of the land. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters and afflict them with their burdens. And he built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted the Israelites, the more the Israelites multiplied and grew. And the Egyptians were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage and mortar and brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. And the king of Egypt, or Pharaoh, spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which one of them was Siphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said to them, when you do office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, If it be a son, then take and kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not as the king Pharaoh, king of Egypt, commanded them, but saved the men alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, Why have you done this thing, and have saved the men, children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered midwives come into them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mightily. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all of his people, saying, Every son that is born you shall cast in the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. Now we're coming into chapter 2. And there went a man out of the house of who? Levi. Those 12 brothers. One's name was Levi. And there went a man out of the house of Levi and took a wife, a daughter of Levi. And the women conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him, and that he was a goodly child, and she hid him for 3 months. When she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark and an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid in the flags by the river's brink. And this little boy, the little child's sister, stood off to wit what would be done of him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. Okay. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent a maid to fetch it. You ever hear the song, this gospel song, Down by the Riverside? This is where it comes. That's where that song is taken from, this story. And when she opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the baby wept. And she had compassion on him and said, For this is one of the Hebrews' children. Then said his sister, the child's sister, to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. I'm reading this like this here for a reason, and I'll explain when I finish. I'll explain. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, Because I drew him out of the water. Okay. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said unto them, he said to him that did the wrong. Oh, I see. So these guys were walking together, and Moses was standing back with some of the guys who was beating on the Hebrew people. And he asked one of them, why do you guys beat up your fellows, these Hebrews? And one of the guys responded, Who made you a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killed the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, thought to himself, surely this thing is known. Okay. Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing, the word it got back to Pharaoh that Moses killed this guy. He sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw near. No, I'm sorry. They came to and drew water and filled the troughs to water their flocks, their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered the flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, "How is it that you are come so soon today?" And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock." And he said unto his daughters, "And where is he? Why is it that you left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread." And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and the man gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter. And she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershon. For he said, "I have been a stranger in a strange land." And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, the Pharaoh died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto the God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, and with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. Okay? That's chapter 2. We're going into chapter 3, but let me explain some things that happened there in chapter 2. The first thing to explain, hands down, is, and it may seem kind of trivial or weird to have to go say this, but I find that I need to say it. When it comes to the story of Moses, most people know the story of Moses by way of the movie, the Cecil B. DeMille movie, The 10 Commandments, with Charlton Heston being the lead character, Moses. That's how most people know this story. I don't know how many times I've told this story to people, or went over it, whatever, and they were like, "Well, whatever happened? What's that? What happened to what's the name? Or what's the name?" You know, and it's like, no, that's the TV version. That's not what really happened here. Okay, and I have to say that because a lot of people, the only way they know Moses is through the 10 Commandments movie, and that's not what really happened. Now, let me give you an example of that. In the movie, the mom put, her name was Yoshabel or whatever in the movie, and she put the little baby, the boy in the basket and sending down the river, and the little girl was watching, and then they go down the river, and then Pharaoh and them's daughter finds the basket, opens up, sees the little boy in there, and the girl, she's like, "Okay, he's cool." She goes on, and this is a big secret. In that movie, this is a big secret, all the way until finally they find out that Moses was actually a Hebrew servant, and then the movie takes a change, and all the things that happen like it there. Where the real story, when she put the little boy in the basket, the boy's little sister was there watching, and the basket went down, and when Pharaoh's daughter found it, the little sister went to Pharaoh's daughter and said, "You want me to? I can find somebody who can help you raise this child." And she said, "Go and find somebody." And the girl went and got her mother and Moses' mother to take care of Moses while he was growing. And according to her here, according to this, Pharaoh's daughter told her, "You won't need money for nothing. Raise this child, you won't want for nothing." Okay? But raise the child to a certain, once it gets weaned, then bring it back to me, and I will bring it up in the chambers of Egypt, in the palace of Egypt and all that and stuff. So it wasn't like it was some hidden secret, like the movie. Anyway, the daughter did that, and the mother took care of the baby. Okay, and then when the baby got weaned, they brought it to her to the Pharaoh's daughter, and she raised it up. Okay, and I'll be referring to a few things in this story because, again, a lot of people look at the only way they know this story is by way of that movie. Sit back. This is a wonderful story, part of all the other wonderful stories, and this is going to be good, good, good. So we'll be right back with part 2, the story of Moses. All right.